What's up guys, welcome back to another KJ Lifestyle video. Hope you guys are having a great day. In this video, as you can see, we have my 2018 Kia Stinger GT2. We're gonna do a quick little walk around. That was something I meant to do a long time ago when I first got the car, but got caught up with a lot of stuff. But we're gonna go over both the exterior, interior, the engine bay, mods that I've already done, plans that I have for this car, and just kind of show you guys around, and then we'll take it out for a drive. So starting out with the very front of the car, as you can see, we have the E for Excellence badge instead of the Kia badge. I replaced that. The first time that I tried to do it, it did not go very well. If you guys saw my previous video, it actually ripped off the entire oval where the Kia badge was, ripped off the paint, so I had to get the bumper painted from here to here. Luckily I knew a guy, so it did not cost too much, but that was still very frustrating. Next thing that we did was we did gloss plasti dip on the chrome right here and right here, especially with all the black accents that are already on the car. It looks a lot better than the polished chrome. So the next thing that we did, well, this is one of the first things that we did, was replace the center caps with the E badge instead of the Kia badge. That was a quick install, just pop off these caps and put the other ones back on. The next thing that we did was we just continued the chrome delete. As you can see, we actually wrapped these mirrors. I didn't get these on film because they're very difficult to wrap and I was alone at the time. So I was able to wrap these using black vinyl. Then I got the auto clover window covers for the like the rain shield, the windshield, whatever you want to call them. These are actually on Amazon. They're only like 40 bucks, and it just kind of did the chrome delete by itself, so I didn't have to wrap this piece right here. And then something that a lot of people actually really liked and were asking about was this piece right here. So I actually wrapped this. I was just kind of messing around. I didn't think I'd be able to wrap it, and I just threw a piece of vinyl on there and was able to you know, smooth everything out. I used a heat gun and then cut it out. But then one thing that I really wanted to do with this car was continue this little line right here. As you can see, we have the black vinyl going all the way down the side of the car. I think it's just a really good little accent piece, especially as it complements the auto clover, the window covers. So now towards the back of the car, the only thing for the trim above the windows that I had to paint was this little piece right here. I was thinking about wrapping it, but I heard that this piece is very difficult to wrap, so I just did plasti dip. When I was peeling it off, it did come off a little bit. Not a huge deal. It's peeling a little bit, so I'll probably repaint it at some point if I want to. And then another thing that I did was a vinyl wrap on the roof, because these roofs come just the factory paint color, and as you can see, the shark fin is gray here, obviously as the rest of the car. So I just did one big piece of vinyl. It was 3 foot by 5 foot. This piece is really not that big, so it was easy to wrap. And then I also painted these little trim pieces right here. These you just pop off, and then I was able to paint those off the car. I wrapped this piece, which is actually part of the hatch. A lot of people didn't wrap this, but I think it just carries well nicely with the black window. So now moving to the back of the car, as you can see here on the inside of the taillight, I did the 2 little tint strips. These I actually bought pre-cut off Amazon. They were 20 bucks. They came in a kit that was supposed to do this side reflector piece as well, but I chose not to buy those because a lot of people said they didn't actually fit on the side piece. Plus, I don't know, I think the red looks decent enough, and I don't know if I'm gonna black out that, but yeah, these were 20 bucks, not too bad. Just used soap and water, put those on. And then moving to the back of the car, because this is a 2018, it had the Kia emblem here and the small Stinger badge, so I just took that off and was able to put on the black Stinger emblem. All right, that's it for the exterior. Now let's take a look at the inside. All right, so moving on to the interior, I haven't done too much with this yet. The only 2 things that I've done really is the little shift knob right here. Before, this one was like, I don't know, it was like mangled. The previous owner must have had like a dog or something. And then I did the E badge over the Stinger emblem. I kind of wanted to replace this whole thing, but it's just so unnecessary, so I just stayed away from that, so just replaced it with this little piece right here. As far as the inside goes, that's pretty much it. I did get a radar detector, the Uniden DFR7, and obviously some window tint. I did 30% ceramic up front, 20 all around, and then a little tint strip, but other than that, that's pretty much it. One thing I do love about the Stinger is that these seats actually go down. So as you can see, you can put this one down and the other one down, take out the luggage hatch, and you pretty much have this entire space to put cargo or I don't know, whatever you want to do back here. So really good to have all this space. Now moving back to the trunk, the back of the car, you do have a pretty big amount of trunk space, especially if you put down that seat. You have all the way up until the front seats. As you can see, I do have my golf clubs in here, shoes, and this thing, which is just a toolkit. This is something I highly recommend too. You pretty much have 200 pieces, whatever you may need as a mechanic or just on the side of the road if something were to happen. So highly recommend getting this. I'll link this in the video. If you want to grab this off Amazon, highly recommend it. But yeah, as for trunk space, you have a lot of trunk space, and obviously this is a hatchback, so the entire back door is going to go up. Little scary sometimes if you're in like a small area, but you can click this button right here to stop it, or you can click the handle on the back of the door above the license plate. So now we're moving up to the engine bay and pretty much the mods that I've already done. So the first and the most obvious one, as you can see right here, I do have the Takeda AFE intakes. These I wanted to get because they're the only true sealed cold air intake. So as you can see, there's the box that goes in here. And once these are paired with the ram air intake, it's pretty much an unbeatable combo because it goes straight from outside right to the cones and into the turbos. So those were a pretty good purchase. They sound really good. They're not too loud because they are sealed, but it's definitely good knowing that you have actual cold air going into your engine. The other thing I did here was the Mishimoto catch can. This one is just good just to keep the oil clean, take out any condensation that may be in there. I drove 1,500 miles and I took it off. I'll put the clip right here. So it does work pretty well. It takes out a lot of that nasty stuff that your engine will be running. And it's especially good if you're going to be running a tune in this car. So obviously a lot of people run JB4, and if you run E30, it makes like this very milky, like creamy texture. So you want to make sure you have a catch can if you're going to get this tuned and run E30. Now the last thing that I've done to this car, and the most recent thing I've done to this car, is the MBRP Pro catback exhaust. I was between Borla and MBRP for the longest time, but I heard Borla was a little bit too loud for daily driving and the MBRP was just right. So I decided to go for that, and I am not disappointed whatsoever. It has a really nice note. It can be loud when you want it to, or when you're cruising on the highway. There's not a lot of drone. But this paired with the AFE intakes up front, over stock it feels a lot faster. That was where I noticed the biggest difference once the intakes and the exhaust were on it. So obviously easier air coming in and easier air going out, so it's going to push a little bit harder. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for the interior, the exterior, and the engine bay. We're going to take this thing for a drive and kind of explain to you why I bought this, what other cars I was considering, and what my future plans are. Alright, so we're in the car now, on my way to get gas, because that's another thing. If you drive this car hard, you only get about, I don't know, 15 miles to the gallon, but on a long trip, you do get anywhere between 25 and 30, depending on the terrain of your trip, and how fast you're going, obviously, but that's besides the point. So I wanted to do this little section of why I even got this car, and this car in particular. So I had the 2008 Acura TL Type S before. Some of you guys may have known from my previous videos, and it was a little bit older. I had like 165,000 miles on it. Alright, so why I wanted to get this car. So I had that Acura, it had like 165,000 miles on it, and it was getting a little old and it was not as reliable as I wished. So I was looking for a new car. So I was considering a few other cars besides the Stinger. I was considering the Nissan 370Z, the new Acura TL Type S actually. I was looking at a few BMWs, a Supra, Camaro, actually the one that's right behind me now, Max, the ZL1 6-speed. But I wanted something that was not only reliable, that it was fun to do long trips, it was practical, just a lot of those creature comforts that you wouldn't get from a two-seater sports car that was a manual. But then again, it doesn't sound like that. This is just the best of both worlds. It's comfortable, it's fast, there's a lot of aftermarket parts for this car to make it really fast, to compete with cars like that at 4,500 pounds. It's decent on gas mileage if you drive it, you know, tame. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. I have cooled seats, automatic climate control, lane departure, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, just a lot of the stuff like that that you wouldn't get from a car like that. And this, even being a Kia, it's something different. And I mean, the other thing too is that this car, in my opinion, I think it looks really good. A lot of people don't even know that this is a Kia, especially if they've never seen a Stinger before. Yeah, a lot of people have mixed opinions on a Stinger. People are like, oh, it's just a Kia, stuff like that. But I mean, obviously you're entitled to your own opinion, but I think it looks pretty sweet. Stock, it makes 360 horsepower, and tune, you can get up to 500 horsepower with these things on a stock turbo, and it can do 0 to 60 pretty much mid to low threes with a TCU tune, stuff like that. So it's definitely a really compatible car that you can do a lot with. That's why I wanted to get it, and especially for the YouTube channel, doing a lot of these mods, and not too many people have like serious YouTube channels. So obviously my hopes for this is to, you know, build my following with this car and see if we can work our way up in YouTube. Obviously there's a million people doing YouTube, so why am I going to be the one that, you know, becomes famous and all this crazy stuff? But I'm just doing this for fun. Ooh, oh, there goes my phone. And that's exactly it too. There's a lot of torque with this car. It's fun. I got it in sport mode right now, but even if I put it in eco and you put your foot down, you're still gonna feel that kickback, obviously just not as instant. So yeah, that's just the main reason why I bought this car, because the stuff that it competes with, you know, like a BMW, a Mercedes, Audi, all that stuff is $20,000 if not $30,000 more than this car. And with $1,000 worth of mods, this thing would, you know, beat it pretty well, I guess I'd say that. I don't want to cause any trouble in the community, but I do have more plans for this car. So far we have the intakes, we have the exhaust, the catch can, some aesthetic mods, but I did also order the HKS M45 IL plugs. Those are actually here. I just did not want to install those until I get one other very important mod for this car, just so we don't have any overboost issues. And if you know what I'm talking about, you obviously know what I'm talking about. So that should be coming pretty soon. We're gonna throw that on the car and it's gonna completely transform it. I just think it was exactly what I was looking for, and the opportunity came about, and this car was actually not too far from me. Went to look at it and everything worked out, so I'm very grateful that that happened. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain with what I got. This is pretty much what I was working for, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. $56 to fill up the tank with 93. It is $4.02, which has actually gone down. The most I paid was $5.80, which was absolutely ridiculous, but that's a completely different story. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but as soon as you step on it, you hear the turbo spool, especially with those AFE intakes, and then once you let off, you get that like whoosh noise. Eventually I do want to get the lowering springs. I want to get wheels for this too, make it flush, front splitter, side skirts, a rear spoiler, and maybe a diffuser. I don't want to go too crazy. Like I was saying before, I'm also going to get the ram air intakes eventually, and maybe some interior aesthetic stuff. But without further ado, that is going to do it for this little walk around, and we are almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys click that like button, subscribe, maybe share it with a friend if you want to, I would greatly appreciate it. As always guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to be kind, be happy, and be grateful, and I'll see you in the next one.